And we're back with another recipe. We're doing tamales. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time, and growing up in Albuquerque, and we always had tamales. I'm going to tell you, it's before Christmas right now. It's before Thanksgiving, but we're coming up to everything, and I got to tell you, like, it's just a tradition. Love it, and we're going to go ahead and make it now, freeze it, because we can always use them all the time. You get a pork shoulder. This is between 5-7 pounds. I think this is closer to 7. It's fairly large. I hope it fits in my sous vide bag. And I know all the people from New Mexico, you're gonna be mad at me because I'm not like doing the typical sear and then boil, simmer kind of thing with this. Not doing it that way. Breaking tradition here. What I am gonna do, and I know I'm breaking tradition. Some people are gonna be totally upset, and that's okay because I'm cooking the pork sous vide and it will just fall apart and try to be so super moist. It'll still be very flavorful. I'm cooking the pork sous vide before I add the chili and let it soak overnight. Everything else is just the same. All I'm doing is throwing this in the sous vide, cooking it at 165 degrees for several hours. It will just fall apart. It's super moist, it's super delicious. But other than that, most of the recipe, I mean, is all the same. I'm not doing anything radically different. I am gonna get my onion ready because it's the same. You're gonna put onion, you're gonna season it, salt, pepper, garlic, the same that you would everything else. And then, I'm just cooking it differently. Super simple. Gonna take my onion and just cut it into about thirds or so, like that. Yeah, I might chop it down a little bit more. Get it into the bag. Throwing that in when I sous vide this thing. I'm gonna do a little more. All right. And the reason I'm kind of bringing it a little bit more all over, spread it around, is because I'm gonna place it throughout the bag in different areas. So that'll be good. And then for my garlic, I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 garlic cloves here, and super simple. This one, the paper came off, but all you do is just give it a little smash and peels right off. So you don't have to do anything crazy. I know a lot of people kind of struggle getting their garlic out, but that's it. Just a little smash and it'll pop right out. You don't have to get crazy or anything. Nope. And you want to give it a little smash anyway to start releasing some of the oils and aromatics, but other than that, just you're not chopping it up or anything, you're just leaving it like so. Let me clean this up. All right, and the rest of this recipe is super simple, getting the pork ready. We're gonna score the top of the meat. This will allow the salt and everything to penetrate, so you're cutting through the fatty layer to get to the skin or the meat. So you're cutting through the fat and skin until you see meat. And that's all you're gonna do. You don't want to go any deeper than that. You just need it to get to where it's gonna penetrate well enough. You get to some places where it's a little thicker, and yeah, just go a little deeper there. This has the bone in, so I can feel the bone. I know where it is. All right, so you score it that way, and then you flip it. You're gonna score it this way. Same process. And this is the same thing if you're doing pulled pork. You're just gonna do the exact same thing here. You would season it differently, obviously, like with a rub or something, but we're not doing a rub on this one. It's for tamales, so we're gonna season it with some red chili after we make our red chili. This is gonna cook quite a while, so that's why I'm getting it started now. All right, looks like everything's good. So that's it. There's some bone in there. Get a little. All right. Looks good. Just making sure about even. There. And we're just looking to get our seasoning in here. That's the biggest thing. All right, I'm gonna wash my hands and then we're gonna season this thing. Okay, we're cooking it with the bone in because it's gonna give it extra flavor. So you're gonna salt this, and because it's going in the sous vide, you have to salt it pretty heavily. So don't be alarmed if it looks like quite a bit. And you're just trying to get it also in all of the little places that we've scored it. All right, and then I'm gonna do pepper. Just gonna work it in. Make sure it goes in everywhere. Very good. All right, I'll flip it over. And this side, we're not gonna score. We're leaving it just like this, but I'm gonna season it, but I'm gonna wash my hands. I think the biggest challenge I'm gonna have here is getting it in that bag. I hope it fits, but we'll see. All right, I'm gonna season this side. That's it. Now I didn't put garlic powder because we have our garlic cloves. Here comes the part that I don't know if how it's gonna work. So let's see. I'm saying this way. Let's see if it goes. I'm gonna fix this bag. I have a feeling that this might get dirty, so I'm gonna go further down on my folding over as I wrestle with this thing, so I'm gonna give myself a little extra room just to be safe. All right, and let's see if I can get this in here. Where's that bone? All right, before I get too far, I'll try to get some onions and garlic in here. Thinking I might have to cut this in half, and I was thinking that, so let's see here. Oh, and I cut my bag, so I'm gonna have to do this in 2 portions. Well, that didn't work. So I'm gonna do this in halves. And I can see that I cut my bag, so I need a new bag. But I think in reality, I need 2 new bags. So let me cut those up real quick. I'm gonna do this one here first because it's gonna be my problem child. I'm gonna leave you there. Much better. I should have did this in the beginning. Good. All right, and for this one, some onions spread around in there, up top. Some of my garlic. Okay, looks good. And I want to flip it over. Get a little, show the sides of that. All right, good. Now, wash my hands again. Let's get this other bag prepared. It's all below the water line. Wow, that was close. And well, let this thing cook, get up. 165. Some people go 24 hours. You can go 18 hours. At a minimum of 6. A minimum of 6. And then after that, it just totally depends. I want to get the red chili in tonight and shred it. So if I go 6 hours, it'll be 8 o'clock. And if that's the case, then I can start making my red chili. I can pull this out, shred it, and soak it in the red chili overnight. Or I'm gonna might let this go until the morning. Do my red chili in the morning, put it all in there, let it marinate all day, and then start to do the tamales at night. So we'll see. We have pork tenderloin going on in the second sous vide. So I'm just letting that bad boy do its thing, and we'll be back. More than likely, we'll be back tomorrow because I want this to be done right. I want it to cook amazingly well. So I will more than likely let this just cook overnight in the sous vide, and that's how it's gonna roll. That's how we're gonna roll. So, labor of love. When you make tamales, it's a labor of love. Everybody knows that. So this is what's happening, labor of love. We will see you all tomorrow morning. It's the next day. Pork shoulder butt has been in the sous vide for probably 20 hours now. It's getting crazy. I still haven't gotten a haircut, and I'm still looking rough. But I don't look rough. I'm looking Sasquatchy. So before I take the pork butts out, because I need the juice that's rendered from the shoulders to go into our chili sauce, you need to soak the chili pods. And so we went yesterday. Fresh Thyme happens to have chili pods from New Mexico, red chili from New Mexico. So I'm staying authentic. All you people, all you Albuquerque, New Mexico people, not just Albuquerque, but New Mexicans, being from Albuquerque, I have to keep it, I gotta keep it real. So got some red chili from New Mexico, even though where we are, it's hard to find anything, ingredients from New Mexico. So great find here. And we're gonna take our chili pods, we're gonna break the stems off, we're gonna cut them open, clean out the seeds from the inside, we're gonna rinse them off, throw them in this pot of water. It's warm water, and just let them soak for about half an hour or so. And then while that's soaking, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat up a little bit on the water, just rehydrates them, makes them soft, and then we're gonna throw them in a blender, and we're gonna use some of the juice and fat rendered from our pork shoulders to make it all happy. I'm also gonna throw in some garlic and some onion in there, but we'll get to that part when it's time. First things first, you have to get your chili. And I'm gonna tell you, like, if you're from New Mexico, everyone has their own recipe for red chili, and theirs is the original, and theirs is the best. So don't be hating on how I'm making red chili sauce here. It's a New Mexican red chili sauce, and everyone has their own take on it. I'm not straying all crazy with the recipe. So you just break the stem off, and then we're gonna cut it open. You're just gonna clean out all those seeds. And I probably should get a bag or something. So that's it, really. You just bust it open and clean out the seeds from the inside. And really, you're just trying to clean them up. If you see any bad spots on the chili, also cut those out. I'm gonna get a bowl. Might make this process a little easier. All right, and that's it. So fast forward time. So I finished up with the regular New Mexico red chili pods. And the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a couple of the ancho chilies into the sauce. And this is where people are gonna get upset. Some people add these, some people don't. I'm adding it. It gives a nice little nutty flavor, and I think it's good. So you don't need a lot. I'm just gonna do one, maybe two. I'm only gonna do one. I think this is a good size for the amount of red chili we have. So I cleaned them out. I got rid of all the chilies that were bad. So there were some bad chili pods in here. So I got rid of those. I've taken all the seeds out. Seeds and veins as much as I could. I'm just gonna give these a quick rinse and I'm gonna throw them in this water, and you gotta let it soak for about half an hour. While that's soaking, that gives me time to get our pork shoulder butt out, cut it open, and then we can sear that, have it ready, and then we gotta get everything ready. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna rinse these off. Rinsed my chilies off. Now I'm gonna put them in this water. And I've got the water on like a low temperature because I don't want to boil it. I just want to heat it up. So I'm gonna put those in. And I want them down below the water line. Since I'm gonna take this off, get the meat prepped. I'm gonna go ahead and take my weights out. I'm gonna set this up on top. Just make sure it gets the chilies below the water line. I've been handling all that chili, even though it's a mild chili. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands so I don't touch my eyes or anything crazy. I'm gonna let it soak for about half an hour. Turn this up a little. While that's soaking, I'm gonna get the meat out. All right, now I'm gonna get everything ready to get the meat out and get it prepped. So get yourself a measuring cup. You're gonna pour all that liquid in here, and we're gonna use some of that liquid when we make our chili sauce. So I'm gonna get it ready, and we'll be right back. it's time to get the meat out. I have my searing pan here, and I'm just gonna put the meat here, pat it dry with paper towel, pour the juice in here, and then have everything ready to go outside and flamethrower it. So I got the flamethrower prepped outside. I'm only gonna show one of these because the process is the same for the other. And moving the camera back around just takes a lot of time. It makes cooking take twice as long. So I'm doing one. I did add a little bit more water in here with our chili pods because I wanted, it wasn't covering all of it, so I added a little bit more water. All of that to say is, let's get this meat going so I can flamethrower it here. Oh, that smells, holy cow, it smells so delicious. Ooh, and that's really hot. You gotta be careful, this thing's like gonna fall apart just by touching it. Ooh. Very hot. Let me see if I can stab it. Wow, it's just falling apart just like that. I'm gonna drain the juice first. How about that? Might make it easier to try then pull it out. Wow, if you could smell this, it smells so delicious. It's just so hot. There we go. Now I can touch it. Wow. And now I'm just going to cut the bag open. Get this towel out of the way. The challenging part is that it's just so tender. And also very hot. So this stuff, we don't need the garlic or onions here. But, pat this dry. The same rule applies when you're doing sous vide and you want to put a bark on this. Now the reason I'm going to flamethrower it is because people normally, they sear the outside, they fry it in oil to get the crispy bits, and those are great in tamales, like those are amazing. And you're not going to get that with sous vide. You're just going to get an extremely flavorful, tender pork shoulder, butt. And so you have to pat it dry. Oh. And it's just falling apart. Onion's hot. Wow. I don't know how to begin to describe this, but it smells so good. I wish you could smell this. I'm just gonna keep patting it dry. It's super hot. I'm gonna let these bits go to waste. All right. Now, normally when I'm doing a sous vide cook, I'm just gonna take this a little bit for me. Oh, holy cow. I'm worried about temperature. Like, I want it to stay hot. I want to serve it hot. But because we're gonna put the chili sauce in here and marinate it all day, I'm not worried about like getting it out there right away and searing it and then serving it. What I'm worried about right now, every time I pat it, like this thing just starts falling apart. I just want to make sure I get the juices out and it's dry. Now, I'm gonna set the camera up outside and get this going. So you'll get to see, I'll film the searing. Then it's basically repeat the same process for the other shoulder, but I don't know, why is it? It's pork shoulder, they call it a butt. No idea. Just a normal dude cooking. All right, so let me get the camera outside and then we will commence filming with the flamethrower. Well, we're outside because I don't want to do this inside with the flamethrower. It's time to put a char on this. I brought extra tools because this thing's so tender. I don't know how it's just gonna fall apart. It might, I don't know, but let's get this party started. Tricky part, trying to flip it without it just disintegrating. Ooh, there you go. You're ever gonna get this kind of, oh, smells so delicious. All right, I gotta take this inside. So the tamale meat the first one is done. I'm gonna put that on this board and then I have a big bowl that I'm going to shred it and put it in here. So I'll film that, but I gotta do this other shoulder butt first. So I'm gonna take it out, flamethrower it, bring it back in, and then I will proceed to shred the meat once it cools down a little bit. So I'm not gonna film flamethrowing the second one. I'm just gonna go get it done because it takes a long time to get everything set up. And I gotta make this stuff. It already takes a long time to make tamales. It's time to make our chili sauce. I've done the flamethrower on both of the pork shoulders, butt, whatever. A couple things we're going to need though for this is I have some garlic cloves. And chili sauce is fairly simple. People can get as spicy as they want with it or whatever you want to do, but I just do garlic, chili pods, some onion. You could do dried cilantro or any other type of herb that you might sort of prefer. But I'm going to keep mine fairly simple. People put cumin in it or whatever. I'm out of space and out of cutting. Well, I have my giant cutting board, but that's excessive. So I'm going to do here, start by chopping up this onion. And it's all going in a blender or food processor here, so I'm not too concerned about getting it uniform because it's just all gonna get mashed up anyway. So a couple things. I'm just gonna do half an onion, put that half aside, and kind of just rough like that. I'm not worried about everything else. I'll add it as I go. And garlic cloves, I'll just get like, I don't know, I have you can use 4 to 6 garlic cloves here. I think I have like 5, which is exactly in the 4 to 6 range. And just a little light smash and it comes right out. You don't have to get crazy. And the thing is, when it comes to your chili sauce, you're really going to season it to taste. All right, so the amount of garlic you prefer, the amount of salt, or if you're putting in other types of herbs or anything like that. Again, just whatever your preference is. All right, so it's not very complicated when it comes to this. I have my chili sauce. I also have our chili sauce, chili pods. I have liquid from what we were just cooking, and I can see a top layer of fat coming out on there. What I'm gonna do is get a bowl and I'm just gonna take this top layer off like so. It's all fat. You can see how clear it is. Try to just get the liquid. There you go. Now this is from our pork shoulder butt things that we've done. Now I'm going to take this weight now. I put to keep our chili pods down. And I turned the heat off because I just had it going for a while. And I'm just gonna drop some of these in here as we go along. Try to fill this up. Try to get some of this water out. This, like, it's chili water. And some people use this for the masa for their tamales, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to put some chili sauce in with the tamales with the masa because I don't know. I think that's how I recall it being done growing up. I can't say it's 100%. It's been a while since I've been back to the Cube in Albuquerque. Pause with this on that because I need to get it going here. Add just a little bit of this liquid here. Like so. Then I need water for the rest of it. With your masa as well. It's flavored. And don't add too much water. You're doing a little at a time because you don't want it to be too watery. So you're just gonna thicken it up a little bit at a time here. Put in. And I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a pulse here. Okay, now I'm going to add, say, half of a half. So we're doing a quarter, that's 2 cloves of garlic, and some salt. A couple pinches. And we're just going to taste it as we go along. But testing for saltiness, the pork had a lot of salt in it, so I didn't put a lot of salt. Onion, garlic. The consistency is good. The skin is in there. I think it needs more. No more onion, no salt. All right, so the good news is I think we're just about done on that side. Now it's time to strain the chili so you get all the skin out, and you end up with a bowl of it. And then we're gonna cook that because our onions and garlic are raw, and so is the chili, basically. So we're gonna throw it on the stove and cook it down for a while. And this is where you can add some more of your broth or water, depending on how you want to season it. But for our purposes, we're going to try to make some room here. So get this out of the way. You definitely want to blend it as smooth as possible before straining it, because those skins, you don't want the skins, it's just an awful texture. And some of the bitterness is in the skin. So we're just going to go ahead and begin to pour this out there. Just working it. You don't want to press down, you really just want to scrape the seeds off the sides and let the chili kind of flow through. You press at the end. Here, you really don't. You just try to scrape it so it has some more flow. After all of that, we're still not done. We need to cook it, but this is what you're left with, is an ice machine that goes off the most important times. And I am making sure that every time I'm done with things, especially with red chili, I'm rinsing them off completely, because it'll look like you murdered a bunch of people. And you don't want that. So this is what I have as far as my red chili sauce uncooked at the moment. Now, some people do a roux, they'll do oil and flour, and that's fine. You can do that. But remember the fat we scraped off? I'm gonna go ahead and add some of the fat we did, but I'm not doing a roux. Just add a little fat to the pan. And then let it in there. Start to add some of our chili sauce. Let me do a little bit. There we go. Don't want it spilling everywhere. So now I'm going to bring the heat up, cook on this, and we're going to cook this for about half hour or so. Give it time for everything to just kind of blend together. Garlic, onions. I'm going to move this camera over. Maybe this thing's still recording. Who knows? Yeah, it's still recording. All right. I'm gonna bring it up to a simmer. We're just letting everything just blend together nicely. This is gonna keep going. We're gonna taste it along the way. It's time to shred the pork. I think it's cooled down enough for us to shred, so that's what this bowl is for. I'm gonna shred it throw it in this bowl. And then when our chili sauce is done, I'm gonna put some chili in with it and let it marinate today. So I'm gonna try to angle this a little bit more so you can see from this angle. I'll move this camera over because that's just chili cooking. All right, time to shred. And like it's super tender, I'm just gonna use a couple forks. This one, no go. So look at that. Ooh. It's just falling apart. Oh my goodness. I don't think I can cook pork any other way. This is insane. We gotta let this marinate here. I'll let the pork marinate in the sauce today, and then we can start making tamales tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and I've been tasting it. I think it's just right. I'll grab this ladle here and bring this over. I'm gonna pour this sauce in a different bowl right now. Cover this one. Some plastic wrap. Put it in the fridge. I'm gonna save the remainder of this chili sauce for our masa and stuff. As you can see, it's thickening up just by sitting here cooling, but it's still a nice kind of saucy consistency, not too runny. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't want it too thick where it's just like pudding or anything, but this is perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in a separate bowl. Let that cool down, let everything marinate. Then we'll be back when it is time to put all the tamales together. So, holy cow, that's a lot of work, a lot of filming, and I'm sure this will be a lot of editing as well. We're back. Day 3 of making tamales. Supposed to make them last night, but we got busy doing things, and which is fine. Let the pork marinate in the chili sauce, and so that came together nice. I've been heating it up because I let it marinate in the refrigerator. And we're just about there. Like, honestly, this is the last phase, last step of all of this labor of love. And also consult your doctor. There's a lot of pork fat, pork lard, and things going into this. If you have heart trouble.
Don't consult your doctor. He'll say don't eat that.
Yeah, your doctor will tell you, don't eat that. Anyway, I have.
Proceed with caution.
Yes, proceed with caution. I have pork renderings here. This is the broth from our stuff. I've warmed it up. I have 2 cups of warm water. We're gonna make our masa now. And over here, I've been soaking corn husks in warm water for about 30 minutes. Okay, so I think all of that is good. The first thing we need to do is to make the masa. And with that you need a cup of pork fat. Lard, yes. And don't skimp out on this, you need it. So pack your cup tightly, make sure it's packed tightly, and get it out of there. You need to whip this up to soften it. All right, now I would use the mixer for this. However, I've already cooked the pork differently, and this one you need to feel it. Like you gotta use it and feel it, because it's gotta be soft enough to spread. And we got these cool tamale spreader things. You can buy them on Amazon, because if you've made tamales before, you know spreading is the hardest thing. I have warm water here, and this is warm, so everything's warm to get this going. But you need 4 cups. And what I'm gonna do, start with 2 cups. Just to get it going. All right. So 2 cups. I'm gonna do, oh, and also you need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in. And 1 tablespoon of baking powder. There you go. I'm gonna add some of the water in. Probably enough to get it going here. And there's no easy way about this other than just go for it. Get all that lard off the sides, start to mix it up. And the reason a lot of people do this by hand, mainly, is because you gotta feel the texture. Now I'm sure you could do it in a mixing bowl and just stop and feel the texture, but I've upset my ancestors enough, and I don't wanna be haunted. All right. It's a nice texture there. I'm gonna add some of our pork fat, about a cup of it, or pork rendering. And that's why you save that juice. Right, and I'm just gonna start to now mix by hand, and the rest will be either water or pork renderings. And you need 3 cups of liquid total, around 3 cups. So I'm gonna start to add in here. Before I add any more of the liquids, I have our chili sauce. I warmed it up. So this is the chili sauce that we made. I'm gonna go ahead and add some in here, give it a little flavor. It doesn't need a lot, but it gives it some color and some flavor. Great thing about having a sous vide is using all your sous vide equipment to soak these. Now, there's 2 sides to the husk, and people say you have to use a specific side. It's the inside of the husk. and you'll see like on this one, it's torn and stuff. I mean, you could still use it, but some people, if it's torn like this, they rip it and use it to tie around. We could do that, but right now I'm just gonna sort them out, and this whole process is just to rinse them clean, see how this has a bad spot. It would not pass quality inspection. I'm gonna throw that to the side, and let's see here what we got. I hope I have some usable ones. All right, I have two piles here. One is my good one. I know those are good. And the second one is if I get desperate. I have a feeling we're gonna get desperate. All right, so here we go. Got my filling in there. And got these nifty spreaders. So what you do is you take your corn husk, and people say like you got to use a certain side, smooth or rough, and I think it's the smooth side, but I can never feel it. I don't feel it well enough. So you're supposed to take some of this masa, You're like so, and then this just spreads it on. I need more room. Try to go this way, and apparently you spread it as thick as you want it. I need more room here. Let's move some things aside. Hopefully the overhead camera is picking everything up, because if you're good at this, you could do it in one swipe. I don't know. I don't know if I'm good at it. So there. Now we take some of our filling. And there we go. And you don't, I mean, you want to be a good portion. You can't overfill it, because then it will start to spill out. But then you don't want like just a bunch of dough either, or masa, so I'm gonna gently fold one side over, and we're just gonna wrap this around like so. We're gonna fold our bottom part over, and that's it. Now, in our Instant Pot, I'm going to use this basket to steam everything. No, I have no room for anything. And so all I'm going to do is just put these in the basket, like so. And then when it's full, I'll cook them. So, yeah, watch me try to do this. I need a better spot for this.
Yeah, it's hard with all that stuff.
Okay, our basket is full. I could probably get another one in here. But I need to keep making these so the masa doesn't dry out. So I'm gonna keep doing that, and my dog's in the way. So all you gotta do is get your Instant Pot plugged in. Need a cup of water at the bottom. Put your basket inside. So, make sure your lid is secure. It has to be set to, I can't read that, but not venting, the other one. Sealing, or whatever. It's on the other side and I can't see it. And we're just gonna put this on high pressure cook. 25 minutes. And then that's it. Then we can do a quick release and let it go. It should be good. But all that to say, well, that's going. I'm gonna keep doing more of these. We should get something to put them in. So there you have it. That's all the filling I have. I have a little bit of masa left, and if I'd have made a little bit more of the filling, it would have all come together. But not bad. I also have this tray here of tamales to steam, so good amount, not bad. However, there is a little treat for me, since I don't have enough for one tamale. There's this pork with a red chili. It's delicious. So, I already know this filling is gonna be perfect in these tamales. So, as soon as it's done doing its thing, we'll be back. I'm gonna clean up and then we'll be back. All right, this has finished and I went ahead and did a quick release on it. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. All right, so basically I gotta get these out, let them cool down for a little bit. This. This is so good. So, you can see it's a little mushy, but I have not let it cool down. Oh. Yeah, oh. If you haven't had tamales, red chili pork. Oh. Super hot. I've been hot. The chili's not spicy at all. Just really flavorful. And when you put some in the masa, like it gives the masa a good flavor as well. And all the textures just really come together. If you let these cool, you're supposed to let them cool. You'll end up with a more, like, the masa gets firmer, more firm. But I don't know. This is just ridiculous how good it is. I couldn't wait to let it cool off, but this it's just amazing. Yeah, I'm the guy that scrapes off the masa because I was a labor of love, every bit of this. It's delicious. Obviously, you can't eat this every day. Like, I mean, you could. And, I may have one later on, but that's fantastic. Was it worth it? Was it worth all of the labor 3 days later? I mean, you really could do it in one day if you started early enough and started getting everything together. But honestly, prepping it is the biggest thing. And usually when you make tamales, it's a family affair. Everyone comes together and they're making it, and it's like an assembly line, and boom, boom, boom. And you can knock it out in a day. It's a lot of work, but it is so worth it. This is a labor of love. And this, I can't tell you how awesome, how amazing that is. We only do it once a year for Christmas, around the holidays, and you can see why, the amount of work that goes into it. But that, my friends, is how you make pork tamales with red chili. And that's how I learned to do it in New Mexico style. Now, cook the pork differently, all that kind of stuff. You know, everyone has their own way of doing it. And so I wish you the best. If you try this recipe, let us know in the comments. Please like and subscribe for more recipes like this. Make sure to visit our blog, doingallthings.com/blog, for more lifestyle inspirational ideas. Until next time, stay hot. Make some tamales. We will see you all next time with another recipe.